G'day and welcome back to Duxola Gaming and Southern Cross Station. Yes, we're back for another morning of farming here in New South Wales, and we are going to get cracking into it. So we've got the big John Deere here. We've just finished cultivating our cotton field over yonder, and we're now going to do this field here. This was our old sunflower field. All right, let's get into it. So, we've got no money. I'll explain that in a minute. But that means we're going to have to do this manually for now. I've got a whole pile of things I need to get done, so I'm just going to probably try and power through this as quick as we can and explain why we've got no money left. All right, so let's just get that going. All right, away we go. Now, the reason we got no money is basically we've bought a few things on the way. In fact, I can sell a couple of things. We don't need them yet, really, if I was really that desperate. We bought, actually it was before the last episode even, we bought 2 new headers for the ropers. So we got 2 ropers, right? Now the ropers we've got are capable of doing both sugar beets and potatoes. However, we've only got sugar beet headers, so I figured we had some money there, so I bought some potato headers because we're going to put some potatoes in. I know we hadn't spoken about that too much at this point in time, but that's what we're going to do. So I prepped on that. I've also bought another a supply auger wagon. So basically I can put seed and fertilizer in that, and I can support my seeders when we're out in the field and stuff like that if I need to. So I bought one of those. I bought another set of tanker trailers, which I probably didn't really need, maybe, but I did buy them anyway, and that's going to be utilised for slurry. Now, I'm yet to buy a slurry applicator and transport tank for that. That will come very soon. In fact, I'll take some products off and sell them at some point very soon. But at the moment, we don't have that. So I've got the tanks ready to go, but I don't have the slurry applicator. That's okay. But we are very close to needing that because I've got a pile of slurry building up and I want to start using it. So we've got that. The other thing is I was just fixing up some of the production items as well off camera and realised the bakery wasn't producing anything. And the reason the bakery wasn't producing anything was twofold. Firstly was we hadn't put any flour in there yet. So we recently put the flour processing plant in. We had flour being processed, but we didn't collect any flour from that and take it over to the bakery. So we took a load of flour over to the bakery. It wasn't a huge amount. I think we had about 27,000 kilos of flour or something. We took that over to the bakery. Then we realised the other thing we were missing was eggs. Now, I bought some eggs just to get it running. I bought about 25,000 eggs or something. Anyway, I then realised that what we needed to do to get eggs, you need to have some chicken pens. So I installed and built 2 chicken pens, and they've been located adjacent to the sheep and the pig pen. Again, the pig pen is there, but it has no pigs, but we have a pig pen. So we now have 2 chicken pens as well, with no chickens. But we're going to get those going, so as we can start getting egg production, and then we can use the eggs for our bakery. So it's all this sustained chains of growth and product we need to make sure we've got going. So that's all well and good. Now, we did say we're originally just going to have, pardon me, cows and sheep, which we were, but we do want to use the other elements of the production. I mean, we got that, so we're going to do that as well. Now, I'm still yet to do the butchery. I'm umming about whether I'm going to do the butchery or not. So that may or may not come in the future, but the chickens at the moment are there not for butchering. They're there primarily just to produce eggs. So that's the only reason I've got them on the farm now. Pigs, we put the pigs in because we thought we were going to do some pig farming. I'm not so convinced yet that we actually end up all doing some pig farming. But that either way, it doesn't matter. We're set up to use it now, irrespective. If we don't use it, well, so be it. If we do, well, that's okay. Remembering that the pigs in their default state the only benefit the pigs are going to give is by selling the pigs off. So you get your pigs, preferably as piglets, and then you feed them. They eat lots and lots of food, get nice and fat, and then you sell them off. That's basically it for the pigs. No other use. However, thanks to the Dragon Den pack, we do have a use now, which is we can send the pigs to the butchery and make meat products out of it. So if we do use the butchery, if we do use pigs, then we've got a use for the butchery. And if we do use the butchery for the other animals, then we do have a use for the pigs. So it's sort of in a bit of a cycle, isn't it? A bit of a circle. Anyway, so that's what we're going to look at doing. Time for, right. So that's where we sit with that. But yeah, so we've got. Oh, pardon me. We've got 2 chicken pens. We've got no chickens yet. So we do need to buy some chickens. Now, to buy chickens, I need money. I haven't got any money. I'm in the negative. We're in the can of $5,844. That's hence why we're doing this field manually at the moment, because we can't afford to have any hired hands. All our hired hands are on holiday until we can afford them. So the best way to afford hired hands again is to sell some products. Now, we've got some products sitting at the jam and juice factory at the moment. Truck and trailers. Ugh, spit it out, duck. They are parked at the warehouse. It's a simple matter of a short drive to the jam and juice factory, picking up the jam and juice, and taking it over to sell point and making some money from it. It's not a high sell point month. Month of November, actually, according to my sales mod, I have absolutely nothing in my inventory on my farm for sale in November. Nothing. Nothing is at a high point. So whatever we are selling is not going to be at its most profitable point. That doesn't really matter. I mean, we've got a glut. When I say I've got a glut, I've got shit tins of jam and juice banked up. So that's not going to be so much of a problem. So that's what we're probably going to do shortly. I don't want to spend this whole episode just doing this cultivation, but then again, we might just have to. And then we might just do the selling of some product a little bit later on in the next episode, perhaps, and we put the chickens in then and all that stuff. I do want to get this field turned over. There's one less thing I have to worry about later. I don't think this is going to need destoning. It is going to need some slurry, and hence we want to get the slurry as well. So that's the other reason for selling off some product, so we can buy a slurry applicator. So we've got the 2 trailers we're going to utilise for transporting slurry to and from the fields as an overload option. And that gives us a capacity of 200,000 slurry. Oh, mate. Sorry. They are oversized. I know, but oh, actually, that's the other thing with the bakery. The other thing I realised I didn't have bakery. Not that we don't have it, is it just had no milk. We've got to do delivery of milk. So I've got the milk truck laden up. The first trailer's laden up with milk. I've got almost 100,000 litres of milk ready to go to bakery. Which is cool. So that'll get that part of it underway as well. So once I deliver the milk, the bakery will start producing everything. Apart from, I think it's apple pie that uses the brown sugar. I think there's 1 or 2 pie recipes that use the brown sugar. So whatever they are, they won't be in it because I haven't got any brown sugar produced. Because I haven't got any maple trees running to get maple sap and just molasses and so yeah. Anyway. So that's another thing we haven't got in the production chain, but that's okay. We can deal without that at the moment. So the pressure's on to get a bit of extra money, so we can go number 1, get our. Probably the first thing we need to do is get our slurry running, so we can come out to these 3 fields we've just turned over, and get some slurry application on them, and then we can do the rolling and do the last bit of prepping, so they're ready for seeding at the appropriate time of the year. So, where are we at now? We're at 10 minutes in. I might just keep on going. I think we're going to have enough time to get this field cultivated and get the other little bits and pieces done, like selling off some of the product and buying stuff as we need to. So we'll keep going for now. Once I get to 20 minutes into the video, then we'll look at changes. We go to cruise control. All right, I'm going to wet the whistle, so 2 seconds. All right. You know, I do love, now, this is probably going to get me back ranting about giants. I know I've covered this off a lot. Unfortunately, what are we at? Today I'm recording this as the 6th of November. You'll get to see sort of how far ahead I'm recording these at the moment, which isn't very far ahead. I've had with the holiday we had, we sort of ran out of time, and I haven't done a lot during the week. Just being back to being a bit busy, a bit tired. I haven't done much. But anyway, all that aside, in 4 days' time, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, our good mate Grizzly Bear Sims, or Barry, is unfortunately going to be closing down Simply Safe Mod. That's sad on a huge number of reasons, because that had become effectively there is another site which I'll talk about at some point, the Discord based site, but Simply Safe Mods became a very popular and go-to site, both the Discord and the website itself, for mods that were uploaded by modders directly. So that way, when you got a mod from Simply Safe Mods, you knew it was from the modder. Okay? So it wasn't from an aggregated website where they just steal mods and post them back up for their own profits or use or whatever else. It wasn't a retread of a mod by someone else who's tried putting it up on one of those other aggregated websites to try and make a quick buck or whatever else, trying to sell off someone's mods effectively. So yeah, it was direct mod. So the likes of Black Dragon, Bullet Bill, CCS 101, a whole pile of modders who basically were sick and tired of having their mods stolen and aggregated and all that sort of stuff, joined up with Grizz's implementation of Simply Safe Mods. And look, it was a great idea, fantastic. It was well received, very well received, and certainly something that the modding community and more probably particularly the modders deserve to have. In fact, they had a little bit more control over their own destiny. It didn't stop them going and being placed on other mod sites, but at least as a gamer, as a user of the product, you may see it on all these cheap phoned aggregation sites. But if you went to Simply Safe Mods, you knew you got the mod directly released from the author. So there was no, unless the author was doing it himself, and I'm not saying any of those authors I mentioned or anyone else for that matter would do that. But the code wasn't changed, and certainly, unfortunately, in some of the instances where people have taken people's mods, other modders' mods, and put it up on other websites, sometimes they've added malicious code, or they've changed the code so it doesn't work, or it does things that it shouldn't be doing, or whatever else. And by getting the mods off Simply Safe Mod directly to the modder, you were very, very safe. Pretty much guaranteed we weren't going to have that problem. And that was important. But like I said, I mean, most importantly, I guess that the really important part of it, from my perspective and in my opinion, was the fact that the modders were placing the mod there, so you knew the mod was directly from the modder. It wasn't tampered with. And if you needed support, more importantly as well, with the mod, you had the facility to go to the Discord and use the chat there. And more often than not, the modder would be able to directly support you with issues you had with their mod. Or, alternatively, the rest of the community would also help you with questions you had about your mod. Or also, in fact, in modding itself generally, like asking questions about how to mod something, had a problem with something when they were modding. So it became a very good community site, and hats off to Jerry, to Grizzly Bear Sims for creating it. And I know I've mentioned it before, and I make no secret of the fact I consider Jerry to be a good mate. And I mean, at the end of the day, he's one of the reasons, one of the faults of getting me into doing farming sim recording. So you can blame him. But yeah, I got a lot of time for Jerry. He's a wonderful bloke, and he's everything he does is pretty much for the right reason. That is looking after the gaming community and the modders. Have a bit of an issue with play of the land through there. Anyway, yeah. So it's a shame. What is this doing? What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise it up. Bit of an issue on that section of land below it, the way it alters the back of the. Well, I'll see if it does it again. It might be an actual part. Yeah, it's raising. Yeah. No, something with the player then possibly for a bit. Anyway, yeah. So it's very unfortunate. It's just got to the point where it's just not financially viable for Grizz to run it. The ad revenue is not enough. I don't know if he's considered putting in a paywall, not so much a paywall, but a voluntary contribution into it. I mean, that would have, I'm sure the vast majority of people using it would have put some money towards helping it run. But anyway, I mean, he's made the decision, and that's where it's going to be. So it's just, again, a big thank you to Jerry for all the work he's done supporting our modding community and supporting the game that so many of you enjoy. So, yeah. Now, I've forgotten actually where I was starting to go with that, because I was actually going to talk about giants and modding. I can't remember where I was going to go with that. So I've vested into a different part of the topic, and sort of forgotten where I was going to go with it. So, giants, you might be saved. I might not be ranting on you today, unless I think about at least 30 seconds or so. All right, we're getting close. Almost finished with the cultivation of the field. Again, it doesn't look as though any stones have come up, so I think I should be okay. I won't need to de-stone this field this time around. I think the last time we cultivated, we had to de-stone it, so that'll be okay. But we're getting close to having this one prepped ready to go. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was talking about. Right. So in relation to modding generally, I'm extremely pleasantly, I won't say surprised, I'm just happy with the fact of where the modders have taken this game to, this particular version of this game to. I mean, I'm looking here at the plow and the tractors that's going through the dirt, and we've got, sorry Viper, I've forgotten your actual full tag name, but I think it's Viper GTS 98 or something. So Viper's mods of the dirt mod, and then we've got the clouds, the dust clouds at the back of the implements and the tractors, and we've got that. We've then got the follow me mod. We've got horseplay. We've got all these wonderful things. It could have been baked into the game with a bit more detail and forethought by Giants. This is definitely a game that its longevity, when I say longevity, I'm meaning to get gameplay of more than 3 months out of this game is entirely dependent upon the modders. The base game as it was, and this is my personal opinion here. I'm not going to talk about the modding part of it, but the base game as it is. So if we go back to November last year, Giants came out and said, right, we're releasing FS22. Everyone goes, yay! They released FS22. Got a number of mods that were from FS19 and FS17, plus some new mods. Some implements, I should say, not mods. We're not going to call them mods, we're just going to call them the base implements and vehicles. With 2 maps. A number of new game mechanics, being some of the contract work of the way that was developed. Productions, 1 or 2 new crops, which basically exactly the same as wheat. I mean, let's face it, barley and oats. Was it just barley? I can't remember what was the crop. But anyway, the crops they've brought in the last couple of games is basically the same as wheat. We're not really getting anything new there. Oh, we've got the olives and the grapes. That was the big main new crops, which were fine. Implementation of it was a little bit dodgy. His placement of the olives and the vines, the grapevines. But it was something new, and that was good. I mean, that's something I've been calling for quite some time, is to bring a variation of the farming and the crops we can do, like bringing in rice farming or bringing in orchards or stuff like that, instead of just same old. But yeah, okay, we've got sugar beets and potato. We've got sugarcane, which I think no one really does because it's just so laborious harvesting. But in saying that, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but we are going to do some. I didn't say that. The life, and then like effectively, what was it, about 4 months, 5 months later, they release an update with new machinery, just a few bits and pieces, and then a couple of DLCs, a couple of minor DLCs. We got pumps and hoses. We got the Antonio Bandito bloody Carraro, whatever the hell it was, which was basically all driven around smaller tractors and implements to assist with your olives and grapes, because effectively the starting equipment we got with olives and the grapes was, let's say, I was going to say low brow. It wasn't low brow, it was just low number. So we had very few variations of implements or anything else to use, which is fine. I mean, we had enough to do it. So they brought out a DLC that had some new tractors and implements and that we could use for the olives and the grapes. That's fine. But at the end of the day, even with that new element, so the limited amount of production work they gave us, the olives and the grapes, and the default maps and the equipment, I don't see, without any mods whatsoever from third-party mod makers, supposing anything other than Giants, I don't see that I would have been playing it anything more after 3 months, because it just doesn't have the longevity, and it's the modders that make the longevity of the game. Where am I going with it? Where I'm going with it is, I say this regularly, Giants really needs to step up the way they deal with, appreciate, and work with the modding community. So with 1.8.1, I've said this previously, just been recently released, preparation for the Platinum Pack. It broke mods. Now, by and large, yes, I agree. That's not entirely Giants' fault. They can't be relied upon for, let's say, for the want of an argument, there's 250,000 mods on ModHub. And then outside of ModHub, there's probably another 500, 700,000 mods by mod makers that aren't officially endorsed and put onto the ModHub. So they're done by people that either want to keep them private or don't distribute them very much, or those that have made mods of mods, stuff like that. Anyway, I digress. The issue with Giants is just they need to implement some sort of communication path where when they know they're going to bring out a patch, obviously 1.8.1 was a patch in preparation for the Platinum Pack, which they said, they quite openly said it's in preparation for Platinum. What they should do is open a line of communications with their modders on areas where they know they've changed the code, or the code is going to be impacted, and it's going to affect the mods. So surely to God, some of these people, these ostriches, I'm going to call them ostriches, emus. No, actually, mainly sausages. Emus don't do it. Emus are smart animals. They're Australian. I'm going to call them ostriches that just stick their head in the sand and just don't worry about dealing with what they got to deal with, even when it's been told to them flat out what they need to do. I think that's what they're doing. I think that's part of their modus operandi. I think that they just make changes and then they just go, yep, we'll just let it go, and then just not worry about any consequences, how it's going to affect people in their gaming, well, it's not just their gaming. It's in some cases their career, because some people are using this YouTube or Twitch and doing exactly what I'm doing now or similar, maybe arguably better, maybe arguably worse, but they're doing it as a career. Like, they've given up any other job they've done, and they've taken on doing game production, as in YouTube or Twitch, or Twitch, as a career. So making changes that could break the game or their save game could actually impact people's livelihood. I mean, it doesn't affect mine. I make a very small amount effectively per month from YouTube, and that's fine. I'm not doing it as a full-time job. I can't afford to do it as a full-time job, obviously. Would I do it as a full-time job? Look, I don't know. But anyway, that's immaterial to the point of the argument. You need to open up a line of communication, because many of the mods that broke are mods that I would tend to say that virtually all, certainly from the PC fraternity, people used. Now, this is where we get into the other part of the conversation. I've mentioned this previously before. The majority of sales that Giants gets for their game is console players. PS5, PS4, Xbox X, whatever it is. So, I really don't think that Giants give a rat's hoo-hoo about PC players. Or PC and Mac players. To a point. The reason I say that is because we're not the largest demographic. We're not where all their money comes from. All their money comes from those console players. Now, that's also to say that all their money comes from players that aren't able to enjoy many of the fruits and the labours of the modders that provide us all those mods. So, for instance, the Dragon Den pack, let's use that for an example. Modders can't utilize, console players can't use it. There is a caveat with that, and I'll get to that. But by and large, none of our console brethren that play the game can play with the Dragon Den pack. And it is a shame. I think the Dragon Den pack has brought... I know the Dragon Den pack has brought a huge amount of gameplay enjoyment to my playing of FS22. The only reason I'm probably still playing FS22 really is from the Dragon Den pack. And that's why you see me use it so much, because I enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy the fact we're taking products from the field through to the factories to produce end products. So I'm enjoying the fact that I'm taking stuff from an orchard, bringing it into a processing facility here, along with sugar and water, which I've had to produce from crops to go into another mill to produce the byproduct that then comes in to support the product here. I enjoy that fact we're doing the full food chain as part of my farming. It's a fantastic part of the game, and I'm really enjoying that part. But unfortunately, console players don't get to see it. Okay? I know I've sort of gone on with that a little bit, but it just drives me batty every time I see comments to the fact that there's stuff that's not happening and people just aren't getting mods or right. It's just Giants could be so much better. They really could, and they could really have all their customers embrace the product. But I just think sometimes they just do it for the sake of everyone. Anyway, all right. As you can see, we'd finished doing the cultivation of the field. I've been yammering a hell of a lot about modders and giants and stuff. And we've also now put in the milk into our bakery, and as you can see now, we've got all of our products running, except for the grape pie and the apple pie. The grape pie is not going to be running because we haven't got any grapes, and the apple pie isn't running because it requires the brown sugar, and we don't have any brown sugar because we don't have any maple trees and sap being produced. So that's up and running. So that's good. Happy with that. And here's all of our product here that we're going to take and sell. We'll do that in the next episode because we are going to want to make some, buy some more equipment, being the slurry applicators, as we said about before. I'll come over here. This is going to show you the stuff we have mentioned that we bought and that we will be utilizing soon. So there's our Strobel bulk tender. That's our tender we're going to use for assisting in the fields when we're seeding or whatever else. There's our 2 potato headers for our ropers. I've coloured them brown so I know they're potato as opposed to the sugar beet ones. And there's our 2 trailers we're going to utilise for our slurry. And I've coloured them in the green of the John Deere. Yes, it did hurt. I had to take up some psychologist appointment time to note the fact that we've used John Deere colours again. But we'll be okay. So that's what we've got coming up. All right. I'll very quickly going to go over and show you the sheep as well. We did mention about the fact we put them in, so I think I should show you that before we finish off the episode. So there you go. There's one sheep barn there. Sorry, not sheep, chickens. And right, so we've got one chicken barn there. Again, stands chickens, and then we've got another one in there. So it's just filled in that little slot there, those little holes nicely, like I sort of planned for them to be there. And then we've got the pigs that are here with no pigs, and that's all good. And then we've got our sheep. All right, that's the layout that we've got now. So anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed my little rant and discussion about giants and modders and stuff like that. I do hope that all of you that have used Simply Safe mods in any way, shape or form, please go over to the Simply Safe mods Discord and leave a message for Jerry. I haven't left a public message for Jerry. I am going to try and catch up with Jerry and have a chat with him. But again, quite publicly, Jerry, or Grizzly Bear Sims, as most of you know him, thank you very much for all you've done for the modding community, for the farming simulator community, and also for myself personally. You're a champion bloke, and your efforts and what you've done for the community, even before Simply Safe mods, is not lost on many of us. Truly, always be remembered as a member of the community that's actually been for the community all the time. So thank you very much. Anyway, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did like the episode, make sure you press that like button. Like pressing is free and it helps us out a lot. So please, everyone, press that like button. If you like the episode that much and you're not already a member, please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel by pressing the subscribe button. If you do press the subscribe button, then please make sure you press the alarm notification icon as well so you're made aware of when new videos are available on the channel. And of course, don't forget to come and join us on Twitter, Discord, and Facebook. The details are down below in the description. And more importantly than anything else, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Back here at Duck Swallow Gaming and Southern Cross Station. See you later. Bye.